Isolation can be one of the most dangerous or risky aspects of a divorce. And some folks actually will say that isolation after divorce for guys is the most dangerous part of a divorce feature for guys. And guys, Paul Divorce Detox, I want to talk about isolation here because when you are in a relationship, you have a partner, when you're married and you're going through divorce, you are losing, in most cases, you're losing your primary emotional partner in life. You may have friends and everything else, but from a primary individual who knows about your emotions, your history, your background, and where you have that intimate, emotional relationship, you're losing that part of your life. And some guys will revert back to isolation. And for myself, I'll give you a classic example of what happened. So, my ex and I have an amicable divorce, separation, what have you. She was out, most of the kids to live in her new place, and all of a sudden, I find myself in our quote, air quote, house that is now silent. And I'll never forget the first couple of days of how quiet it was. And that, in my opinion, is it's a textbook classic example of isolation. There I was in this house with nothing going on because my world had always been with a wife, kids, dogs at one point, activities, etc. Now all of a sudden it came to a screeching halt. That isolation was brutal. It truly was. And I had to actually force myself out of my comfort zone to go outside my boundaries and do some things, meaning healthy things like joining a speakers bureau, some other things where that was allowing me to have a way to express my emotions. And the reason I frame it this way, guys, and explain it this way, you figure roughly half of marriages end up in divorces. And then half of the guys who end up getting divorced tend to experience more isolation than females. And isolation can also lead to other risks with guys, such as substance abuse and unhealthy ways of dealing with things. And so when we talk about isolation, you don't need to have a huge group of friends. And by the way, your friends, even those who've been divorced, may not know what to say to you, especially if they're male friends you're referencing. Female friends, different aspect for guys. Having a guy and a guy having a conversation, you don't need a small army of guys to help you get through. I mean, you can if you have it. What you really want to do, though, is find a person, preferably not a family, it could be a family member. Find a person, find a good safe spot to talk, and share your emotions, because getting over the isolation, part of that is having the conversations with regards to how you're feeling, how you're doing, and also having tools to help you deal with the isolation. And part of Divorce Detox is to give you a structure of here's boom, here's boom, here's boom. And that's specifically to help you deal with things like your emotions and the isolation. Because we want you to be successful going through this. We want you to manage your isolation successfully. And it may be, guys, that you have to go and move to a new location with a total, hit that reset button and start fresh. And that's okay. So, guys, take care of your isolation. Be aware of it. Find a good person to talk to. Find an individual you can hold on to and have those conversations, because there's nothing wrong with talking through this stuff, guys. Nothing wrong at all. Hope this is helpful. Talk to you soon. Thanks.